When I was 31, I was told that I had an elevated FSH, which is about the worst news you can get if you're facing fertility issues, because it means your egg count is going down, so your time's running out. And I remember walking out of that appointment, and I walked into Central Park and I sat down next to a pond there and I started crying, and I never felt anything like that before. I was completely devastated. It's like falling down a black hole.
For many, the path to parenthood is not simple. As Jill and Ben Mann struggled to get pregnant, they desperately needed support.
Yeah, you definitely feel a sense of powerlessness because you really can't. You realize quickly that it's out of your hands, and for me, that's why something like Path to Parenthood was so important.
Path to Parenthood is a national nonprofit organization, a dedicated board and staff united with a network of specialists in the fields of assisted reproduction, surrogacy, adoption, law, finance, and emotional support, helping people of all walks of life on their personalized path to have a child.
I am a mom.
I want to be a dad.
I want to be a mom. I'm a mama.
We want to be dads.
We live in a world where there is lots and lots of unfiltered data out there on the internet, and Path to Parenthood makes sifting through all of that data to understand your options very clear.
We don't make money for this. We don't have any political stance that we're particularly behind. We are for you if you are trying to have a baby.
Path to Parenthood operates entirely on the generous donations of foundations, corporate sponsors, and private donors, many of whom gather once a year in New York and LA for Illuminations, a star-studded benefit awards dinner honoring the nation's leading advocates, scientists, and physicians in the fields of assisted reproduction and adoption.
After 10 years of trying to be a parent, all I thought in that moment was, oh, I found you.
This organization has enabled us to have 2 children that we absolutely adore and are the best thing that have ever happened to us.
There are many different paths to parenthood, from adoption to assisted reproduction to surrogacy. And the people taking these paths come from vastly different circumstances. Single women facing infertility, people living with HIV, those who have suffered through miscarriages, transgender individuals, straight and gay couples. Path to Parenthood helps match people to the services, options, information, and professionals that will advance their journey to having a child.
The good news is that, with very few exceptions, there is an answer for family building for just about everybody who wants to be a parent.
First, we got a dog, and she was our training wheels. And we didn't kill the dog, so we thought, okay, well, maybe we'll be all right with a kid.
When Gavin Lodge and Todd Ellison decided they wanted to have children through surrogacy, they realized they needed help.
Because we didn't have a lot of friends who had actually gone through the surrogacy process, we certainly needed to have professionals who could lead us down the right path. That certainly assuaged our fears.
Too slow.
For the past 2 decades, this organization has been offering resources first as the American Fertility Association and now as Path to Parenthood, expanding its mission to provide guidance for everyone looking to build a family.
Way back when we got started, we found ourselves being inclusive in a way that sometimes made us unpopular. A good example of that is our work with the LGBT community.
Path to Parenthood has been active in the LGBT community since its inception, with outreach programs and events across the country.
Obviously, it's invaluable to people like us and people throughout the city and the country to have non-biased information that is merely trying to help further the goal of pregnancy without any other agenda and without any moral judgment or judgment of any kind.
Path to Parenthood also provides resources to those in the military.
We can provide people the information they need upon return from deployment, how they can best set about building a family.
When Path to Parenthood board member Patricia Mendel struggled to conceive, she realized although she had a medical background, even she didn't have the resources she needed.
Well, I started when I was 29, but we got pregnant, we thought we were on our way, and suddenly, lo and behold, I miscarried. It was horrible. I began to realize how little we knew, and that a lot of the problems we had was because we haven't asked good questions.
And for people whose path to parenthood was a difficult journey, the moment when their child is born is that much sweeter.
And finally, at the age of 33, I had my first child. And I really couldn't believe it. But I held my breath for that time because I really thought, wow, what have we been through?
One of the things that's really great when people do succeed, going through Path to Parenthood, is they have a different sense of how lucky they are to have their child or their children.
We got the news that Cheryl's water had broken when we were shopping. And we sped down the highway. He got a speeding ticket and arrived at the hospital just in time, like within an hour for Ellison to be born. And got to cut the umbilical cord, and it was great.
After several years of infertility and 17 hours of labor, there's really nothing like it. It's probably a little bit like after the end of a marathon, magnified by about 100.
Whoever you are, wherever you are on your journey, Path to Parenthood is committed to helping you fulfill your dream of having a child.